Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is Three Buck Theater, and oh man, I want to like this information. I want to like this news. I'm not too sure how I feel about it, predominantly because of the person involved still. But I can't quite speak to what's going to happen. But all I know right now is apparently Star Trek producers are talking plans for more new series. Now, Star Trek Discovery got a season 2. A lot of people out there assumed that it wasn't going to, simply because Netflix was co-financing the first season with CBS All Access, and it went out to Netflix overseas. Nationally here or domestically, it was on CBS All Access. Then, of course, it was hit with bad reviews, and people were talking nothing but crap about it. I saw the first half of the season. I still need to go back and finish watching the second half. I enjoyed the first half well enough, but I think I can see why people didn't like it. I'm not a big Trekkie, so for me, it was all like, yeah, I'm all right with this. I'm okay with this. But a lot of people are really not looking forward to season 2 because of young Spock. He's got a beard, and they're just like, right. But anyway, they want to still expand the series. They want to expand the franchise because they understand, I think, at this point, that the success of Star Trek is not going to be in the movies. It's going to be TV, right? The success of Star Trek was always TV. We love the movies. Don't get me wrong. Love the movies. All right. There's some exceptions. Star Trek 1, Star Trek 5, Star Trek Insurrection, Nemesis. Yeah. I mean, Nemesis was okay, right? Young ass Tom Hardy. But the point is, Insurrection was bad. Worf and puberty? Come on, Frakes. What were you thinking on that one? But anyway. The point is they know that it's on TV. They know that it's on TV. That's where things are going to be at. And they know that they can get away with a lot more on television, and they can push it a little bit edgier, which is both a good and a bad thing. A lot of people out there did not like that they used the F word on Star Trek. That was pretty funny. But anyway, it says here, it's been a big year for Star Trek franchise with Star Trek Discovery and the announcement of Patrick Stewart's return as Jean-Luc Picard, but there are more still things to come. Speaking to Trek Movie at the New York City Comic-Con, Trek Discovery co-creator Alex Kurtzman, who is now in charge of expanding the Star Trek television franchise, teased, "You'll be hearing a lot about it very soon." Speaking in broad terms, producer Heather Caden said that it's their goal in expanding Star Trek franchise is to make sure to avoid franchise fatigue by ensuring each series has its own distinct flavor. Saying here, "I think the one thing we can say, which is more general, is that it's been a real conscious effort that every project we do has its own voice and occupy its own space. I don't mean its own space in canon, I mean its own tonal vision. Because you shouldn't tune into Discovery and wonder if you flip the channel that it was Picard. They should feel different. They should have different messages coming from different people." And part of doing that means that recruiting creators that have their own points of view, which could be bad and could be good, right? Because I think when it comes to a lot of Star Trek fans, I think what it really boils down to is they want the Roddenberry feel. They want it to be a singular thing, right? Like they do. I think what many people want is they want it to kind of be tonally the same as maybe the Next Generation or DS9 or Voyager or Enterprise, which were all distinct in their own right, but they still kind of had a very similar feel to it. And it might have been because they were still paying tribute to the original series, so to speak. And everyone wants that. They want that feel. I can understand that need for nostalgia, that desire for nostalgia. What Roddenberry's original vision for Trek is not necessarily visually, aesthetically, in other aspects, what Star Trek Discovery has been doing. And I get that there's criticism there. I sometimes feel, though, and this is my own personal take, that the criticism outweighs that type of criticism outweighs valid criticism about taking it at face value, taking it for what it is. It's a lot of people that are just like, I wish it was like this, but it's not like this. And as a result of that, it just becomes this argument that takes place, at least amongst my friends. I could be the outlier, seeing that I'm not a huge Trekkie. It's kind of like I was never really a big Superman fan. So when everyone lost their mind over Man of Steel and how they deconstructed the character, I was like, yeah, that was really good. That made me want to go read Superman. That made me want to go get into Superman because of the way they deconstructed it from its norms. Sometimes it's okay to mix things up a little bit, but you never want to go too far. And that might be what happened with Star Trek Discovery, especially dropping the F-bombs. That caught me by surprise. Not going to lie. Now, going on, Caden says, I think it's what we're most excited about because the writers and caliber are the people who keep coming out of the woodwork. Michael Chabon wrote the next short that's coming. That's ridiculous. Or that's ridiculous. Sorry, I want to make sure I get that emphasis correctly. Who are coming in and raising their hands saying, can I please be a part of Star Trek? It's really been amazing. And it goes on to say that another part of avoiding franchise fatigue is making sure that fans aren't exhausted by having too much content all at once. While CBS executives have suggested that they want to have a new Star Trek content all year, Kurtzman says that there will be gaps to allow for anticipation, saying you have to have a good meal, then decide to take a walk before you have your dessert. Kurtzman says, that's how I look at it. Now, Kurtzman, I think he learned his lesson coming from Dark Universe, to be honest with you. They bit off more than they can chew with The Mummy and what they had intended to do over at Universal with Dark Universe. I think he learned his lesson from that. And he's like, you got to build the anticipation. You have to build the universe. Bringing in Jean-Luc Picard is kind of a no-brainer in many respects, simply because it's Jean-Luc Picard. You know, this is a guy that we've all been fans of for nearly 30 years. So bringing him back is more like, yes, please, may I have some more? Plus, it's Patrick Stewart. Who doesn't love Patrick Stewart? Just saying. The dude's getting up there in years, and he's willing to come back and do this. By all means, I'm on board. But I look at it like this. Having more Star Trek content is probably going to be better for the series than not, right? Like, I know fans are upset at it. I know fans aren't happy with the way Star Trek Discovery has gone, and they'd rather it all go away. But would you rather have decent or like Star Trek that can grow into being something better? Or would you just rather it all go away and never have it? And I think that's a big question. Now, thankfully, and this is where I'm pretty sure there's gonna be lots of dislikes on this one because I disagree with the narrative, but I do want to kind of point out the fact that we have the Orville. So, I mean, and the Orville's fantastic. I love that show. I can't wait for it to come back. So there's that. So if you want Star Trek to go away, you at least have the Orville. But think about it. Think about it like this. Like, you know, has it grown on you a little bit? Are you excited for Picard series? That was actually seemed to go over pretty well. And whatever they got coming down the pipeline next, they seem to be aware of not causing franchise fatigue. And they seem to be aware of what they're trying to create. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe they've learned their lessons from Discovery. And whatever they make next is going to be more in tune with fans' visions of a Roddenberry future versus some producer at CBS. I don't know. Again, those are just my thoughts on it. You guys can think something entirely different. If you made it this far, type Orville in the chat because we all know Orville. It's coming back. Yeah. And leave your comments below. Good, bad, or other is perfectly fine. Also, thumbs up the video or don't. It's up to you. Do it. You know you want to do it. And subscribe if you're new. I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day and peace out.